What is up, guys? It's Aevin with 2 Review. Hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday. I definitely am. It's been interesting. So I wanted to try something new. I went to the beach the other day to kind of just get some ideas, brainstorm and whatnot, because sometimes just looking at something relaxing can kind of put ideas in your mind. And so this is why we have this background of the beach. This isn't the beach that I went to, but I figured this would be more interesting to look at rather than just my logo. So watch the calming waves as I tell you what we're going to be doing for this video. This video, we're going to be talking about what I do on the first day of Stardew Valley. I've restarted the Tube Review farm so that way I'm able to have the ocean farm. So this is the top things that I do on day one. So without further ado, let's check it out. So the first topic that we'll be talking about is, of course, the television. With the television, the reason why I do this is so I can get a habit of knowing when it's going to rain and when are my good and lucky days. Plus, it's great to be able to get some free recipes and just some tips that maybe that you haven't thought about that you could use throughout playing the game. It's very worthwhile to do this, and it's free and it's very simple. You just wake up every morning and just check it. All right, guys, so the next one we're going to be doing is clearing out the land. Very simple, I know, but the thing that you have to understand when you do this is you need to watch your health. Well, not your health, your energy, because at this moment you don't really have any food, and the only way to get food is to buy food. You don't have that much gold, so you have to kind of maximize what little energy you have in order to get things accomplished. For me, clearing out a little bit extra space for the seeds that you're going to be getting from the town and plus your parsnip seeds, that's very worthwhile. So just make sure you're keeping an eye out on how much energy you're exerting, not exuding. My apologies. So the next topic we're going to be talking about is planting seeds. Now with seeds, there is a timeline. So make sure that you're able to get everything into the ground as soon as possible on day one, because you could be wasting time and you could be wasting a harvest day that you just skipped out on. So make sure if whatever seeds that you do get on day one, they're planted into the ground and that they're watered. If they're not watered, that kind of defeats the purpose of getting those seeds in the ground. It's not going to count, and you've just wasted a day and energy that you can't really tend to waste, especially since you don't have food that you can actually buy or make at that time. So once you do this, you are golden. All right, guys, next tip is crafting a chest. Now with limited space, you definitely want to have somewhere where you can put whatever it is that you collect. So being able to craft a chest on day one is really important. That way you're able to collect other things within your bag, especially things that you need for the community center. So being able to craft this does take a lot of energy and a lot of wood. So as you're trying to do this, kind of prioritize what you need to do first. The biggest thing is making sure your seeds are in the ground and then trying to craft a chest. Also, make sure that you're actually hitting the tree and not anywhere else, because I've done that several times and it wastes so much energy. So just make sure you're hitting that tree. All right, and moving on. So moving on to this tip, we're going to be talking about what to carry in your backpack. For me, on the very first day, I like to carry the axe, the spade, the pickaxe, and the scythe. Now the reason why I carry the axe is because behind the Jojo Mart, there is an area where it has a lot of weeds, and I like to go through the weeds mainly because I want to be able to collect as much mixed seeds as possible, as this may yield some free seeds for you to actually grow for crops. So whatever you can get for free is the best. There is another area next to the community center that has an abundance of weeds. You are going to need your pickaxe, as there is a small boulder blocking out the entrance to get in there. So that is why I carry the pickaxe. Now, normally, just for the day-to-day basis, I only carry my spade and occasionally my pickaxe with my fishing pole, depending on where it is that I'm heading. Sometimes I do carry if I'm going to the mine, but typically I like to only carry about 1 to 2 items with me in my backpack, nothing more, as backpack space is very limited. So just feel out what you need when you go out to adventure. So speaking about adventuring, let's talk about forging and trash can forging. My favorite part about forging is just walking and finding random items on the ground. It's great because it's easy profit and sometimes it's free food, which is definitely worth it. Another thing that I highly recommend that you don't sleep on is digging in the people's trash cans. Very worthwhile. Sometimes you get some pretty good things in there, sometimes you don't, but it's worthwhile. So I would recommend doing it. All right, guys, so let's mingle with the locals. Let's go ahead and meet some of them. This is very important to actually progress within the storyline for Stardew Valley. So make sure you get to know the locals. Just pop in, say hi. Make sure you're not touching any trash cans when you pop in to say hi. You do lose heart points with them if you do that. So make sure you don't do that. All right, guys. So apart from mingling with the locals, you also want to know what their birthday is. So first day, stop on and check the calendar. Kind of figure out when it is for their birthday so you're able to plan ahead for what kind of present to get them. Or if you just want to communicate and see what's up and whatever in that sense. But the biggest thing for me is I like to plan ahead for special events. Like for instance, in spring, there is the egg festival. That gives me a time frame of how much time I need to save up as much gold to get the strawberry seeds. Because for me, I gain a lot of profit when I start planting those seeds. So just start planning ahead when you see the calendar, especially if you're trying to get with a certain someone to build up that certain reputation, or if you just want to know when you need to be prepared for such and such event. So by preparing, I like to purchase the cauliflower seeds in the very beginning, mainly because they yield the most profit in return when you plant them. But they do take a long time, and you do need to make sure you're watching your days when you purchase these seeds. You definitely don't want to purchase them and all of a sudden the day they become ripe, it moves to the next season. So just be aware of what you're purchasing and how much you're purchasing this for and the duration. But for me, day one, I like to purchase the cauliflower seeds. So I get them into the ground and I'm able to get some profit on the 12th. Following the 13th, which is the egg festival, I'm able to use that profit to get the strawberry seeds that I want. But while you're waiting for all that, make sure that you're still building up whatever it is that you need to get in gold so you're able to purchase those seeds. All right, guys, so this is how I get some of my food that I just use just to eat. Now, I like to go to this little area below Leah's house and just harvest all the spring onions. They don't really sell for much, and I just like to use them for food. And they stack well, so hey, the majority of the time there's abundance of them, but sometimes there's not. So I just like to take advantage of them just to kind of eat, especially in the very beginning when you can't really afford food or you're foraging for food. All right, guys, so let's recap on some things that maybe I should have done as well within this. Now, with foraging, of course, me trying to get the spring onions does count as foraging, but that is the one spot I know for sure that there will actually be some type of forageable item at that time, compared to where all the other forageable items, they're going to be elsewhere or just not there. So that is the one place I know for sure I can actually count on to get something to eat if need be during the beginning of the game. So with that being said, just keep in mind some of these tips I have said in my past videos. I'm just making this a more concise tip video to be like what it is that I do precisely on day one to get my game started on a pretty good note. So that way it's not as like, oh crap, I need a plan for this, I need a plan for that. This already kind of puts me in a mind space to just be aware of what I need to do every day, like checking the TV, checking the calendar, greeting all the locals. this is just going to help you kind of like give you an idea of like what you should be doing for most of the time. And I'm sure a lot of other people have different perspectives than me, but this is just how I play the game. I also did forget to mention, if you are planning to forge also on day one, to visit the beach and the area where Linus and Robin live. There are some items there that do occasionally pop up, but the thing with forging is you don't know if they're actually going to be there, which that's okay because it gives you an idea of like, hey, what you can expect, where certain items could possibly be. So to kind of end this video, the biggest thing for day one is just maximizing your time as much as you can. So just play out all the way till midnight. You don't necessarily fall asleep until 2 p.m. and that's okay. But just make sure you're doing things that way your time is well spent within the game. Granted, of course, don't make it feel like a job. Doing it because you want to. Don't do it because some person on the internet told you to do this. Do it because you want to do this or just how you want to play your game. But other than that, I think that is going to conclude our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, give me some feedback. I would love to hear it. Also, I will be starting the crypto series this week. So I am going to be trying to put out a video possibly this coming Wednesday, if not Sunday, my usual time that I will be posting. So we shall see. All right, guys, as always, take care and bye.